Good evening, everyone. I would like to call the regular meeting of the board of October 17th, 2023 to order. Welcome to everyone here. I'd like to acknowledge that we're meeting on the traditional land of the Saugeen Ojibwe Nation, which is represented by the communities of Saugeen First Nation and the Chippewas of Nawash Unceded First Nation. We also think of the Métis Nation of Ontario, whose history and people are well represented in Bruce and Grey counties. We have received regrets this evening from Trustee Ritchie. For our moment of reflection, this is a jam-packed week in Blue Water. Trustees will be interested to know that it is a local government week, which raises awareness among youth and the public about the role of local government in our communities. There is a comprehensive article that was just posted on our Blue Water District School Board website regarding local government week and the important role of trustees. It is also Secret Path Week, which highlights our individual and collective roles in moving reconciliation forward. School Bus Safety Week is also underway, with tomorrow being School Bus Driver Appreciation Day. And today is Child Care Worker and Early Childhood Education Appreciation Day. For a moment of reflection, I would like to thank and acknowledge all of these groups: child care workers, early childhood educators, and school bus drivers. They all share one extremely important responsibility in common: to support the safety and well-being of our children, including our students, every day. This also extends to the school bus operators and child care partners who work with our board to serve the needs of local families. We reflect on their essential work and share with them our thanks and appreciation. Tonight we have one student senator that is still to be sworn in. So I'd like to invite Superintendent of Education Lefebvre to lead the declaration of Student Senator Afnan Shaheen.
That's quite long. Okay, I, Afnan Shahid, do solemnly declare that in response to my appointment as student representative for Blue Water District School Board, I will truly, faithfully, impartially, and to the best of my ability, execute the office of student senator, and I will endeavor to represent the interest of students in the Blue Water District School Board in forthright and objective fashion, and will participate to the best of my ability in discussion and debate in all relevant matters. And I will make this solemn declaration conscientiously, believing it to be true, and knowing that it is the same force and effect as it made under oath.
Perfect. That's good. Thank you. And then we just need you to sign.
Okay.
You can take it back there too. Go ahead. Thank you.
Oh my goodness.
We'd like to say welcome, and when you're back, when you're feeling better, we look forward to being out with you again. Thank you so much. That's dedication. Approval of the agenda. I'll be looking for a mover and a seconder that the agenda for the regular meeting of the board of October 17, 2023 be approved as printed. Trustee Long, Trustee McComb, all in favor? Thank you, that is carried. Is there any disclosure of pecuniary interest on any of the agenda items this evening? I see none. We're to the approval of our regular meeting of the board minutes from September 19th. So again, looking for a mover and seconder that the minutes of the regular meeting of the board of September 19th, 2023 be approved as printed. Mover, Trustee Atkinson, seconded by Trustee Gray. Are there any errors or omissions? Trustee Pepone?
Under D, is under communications, the parents served us with the trustees and superintendents and the director with a notice of liability. It was passed, the question was asked at the last meeting, at the September 19th meeting, and it's not included in the correspondence.
It is not correspondence of the board. It was addressed to individual trustees and superintendents. We will be sending a message. So it's a community concern regarding the general school board issue, and the individual will be redirected to our communications procedure. Trustee Craig?
I just want to comment that that is a perfectly correct explanation, but it's legalistic and it's splitting hairs. When the correspondence is sent to senior administration and to all the trustees, it should, by definition, be defined as something sent to the board. Just because they didn't send something that says to the board, that should not make any difference.
Thank you. Any other questions or comments? Trustee Pepone?
I have one more omission. For once now, I have sat here and watched the land acknowledgement be included in our board after the call to order, but we are never given a copy. The perception of the public is that we have input, or that we have an opportunity to approve and disapprove, or say nay to whatever is being presented here, and we don't get that in our package. So I'd like to have that in our package right now. It is an omission in the minutes. Thank you.
Thank you. I wonder, Director Wilder, if you just explain the process of the land acknowledgement and how we came to it, and we could certainly share it with everyone.
Thank you. Through the chair, when it was first developed, it was a very thorough process whereby we consulted with Saugeen First Nation and Chippewas of Nawash Unceded First Nation. It was taken to their councils in which they approved what we had created, and it was done in support with our Indigenous advisor at the time. So it's one that we feel very confident in because it was approved by those that we are honoring and respecting when we do the acknowledgement.
It was moved by Trustee Atkinson and seconded by Trustee Craig that the minutes of the regular meeting of the board of September 19th, 2023 be approved as printed. All in favor? Opposed? Thank you. Approval of the Committee of the Whole Board minutes October 3rd. I can have a mover and a seconder that the minutes of the Committee of the Whole Board meeting of October 3rd, 2023 be approved as printed. Trustee McComb, Trustee Morgan. Any errors or omissions? I see none. All in favor? Opposed? And that is carried. Is there any business arising from the minutes? We are to our excellence in education, and you may have heard we have some guests with us tonight. I'd like to invite Superintendent of Education Lowers to speak to this report. And first we'll put it on the floor that the Blue Water District School Board received the Learning Through the Arts Curriculum Report for information. Trustee Atkinson, seconded by Trustee Lutz, and welcome.
Good evening. It is very exciting for me to talk to the arts tonight because it's a very dear passion of mine. It is through the arts that we understand our past and explore the present. Whether drawing, painting, sculpture, and photography, singing a song or playing an instrument, cultural dance or interpretive dance, acting a scene or a tableau, the arts preserve our stories and our cultures. Tonight I'd like to invite you to step out to the atrium. We have a group from Keppel-Sarawak School and a few students from Hillcrest Central School who are going to be performing a song for us this evening. So I invite everyone to step out.
The song What I Want to Do, North Star Calling was an arranged written by Serena Ryder and BWDSB. The final recording was over 50 Canadian and Indigenous artists. This song was part of the Feel It Loud campaign, which was launched in March of 2023 in order to raise awareness of mental health supports. There could be many challenges in life that anyone can go through at one time. It is important to talk. You can share your feelings with a friend or a caregiver. You can also contact the Kids Help. Call 1-800-668-6868 or text 686-868. Please appeal.
We are. You're amazing. You are amazing.
I don't know what else to say. I think they said it all, and I think that I always believe that. Oh, okay. I think they wanted to say something. Oh, yes. Yes. I thought I was talking at the beginning at all. I said it and I forgot about it. So, and we wanted to share some of the new t-shirts we have at Capacero School. And Lila and Grace, can you give a little wave? Two of our grade 7 friends. They were part and parcel of creating these images. So Willow is quite an artist, and Grace has lots of creativity. And so you'll see the front of our shirts have our pride intertwined with our couple cougars, and the back of our shirts have a really cool crossword with all kinds of important words like respect and free and faith and important and inclusive and together and fairness and welcoming and kindness and allies and Skittles. And I have to say that Skittles is our name of our club. So at the end of the day, that pretty much encompasses what it's like to be a Yellow Queen. So it's a pretty awesome place to spend our days, and that's because of great teachers and great families, and we're really appreciative of the board's support as well.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Serena Ryder would be really proud, right? I think you should videotape or send the tape to her so she hears while playing. But what an inspiration. We are all here, like the work that all of us do is because of students. So for you to come and share your gifts with us tonight is so absolutely amazing. It was great hearing the quiet instruments, and then it moved to quiet singing, and then how fabulous when all of you joined in, and just the joy on all of your faces was amazing. I want to thank Miss Gilkinson. Like, she rallied for you to get you here. I hear you got pizza and ice cream.
Treats are usually a good
Thank you, Miss Gilkinson. And we're staff, like bus driver. I don't know if she's
Barb
here.
here.
Barb.
Yeah,
Thank you. Students in our space.
we love coming here. They're very impressed. They think it's very fancy here. That's what they're saying. They think this is really great.
Well, it is fancy, I guess, but thank you so much. Let's do another big round of
Welcome back, everyone. That was excellent. But I know you still have a presentation.
Yes, we do. We seem to have lost a couple of trustees along the way.
They're singing in the hall.
Would you like us to continue or would you like us to wait?
I think perhaps we'll get started and
Okay.
join us.
So there's a quote up on the board. That is actually a quote right out of the Ontario Arts Curriculum. Experiences in the arts allow students to investigate, experiment, explore, interpret, represent, and express themselves. Through visual art, drama, dance, or music, the arts provide opportunities to problem solve, create, and think critically. So we're going to show you some art as I'm speaking that has been produced in some of our schools around Blue Water. These skills not only transfer to other subject areas, but are valuable life skills. Social, intellectual, and emotional development is enhanced through participation in the arts, as is appreciation for diversity and for other cultures. The front matter of the Ontario Ministry of Education Arts Curriculum describes education in the arts as essential to students' intellectual, social, physical, and emotional growth and well-being. The arts provide a natural vehicle through which students can explore and express themselves, and through which they can discover and interpret the world around them. And so we're just going to take a look at some of this artwork. That says everyone is welcome for those who don't speak French. Each year at Kincardine District Senior School, they showcase the talents with a Night of the Arts event. The library becomes a gallery as students from grade 9 to 12 display the wide variety of mediums they have worked on throughout the school year. There's pretty amazing pieces. Students are also brightening the hallways with digital art to represent each department at Kincardine District Secondary School. The skills learned with these projects have real-world applications. For example, one of the students is currently working on a large-scale digital art mural for one of the buildings in the town of Ripley. Now I'm going to invite Learning Services Administrator Karen Sprague to introduce our next speaker.
I'm really pleased tonight that as we talk about the arts that we have both a secondary and an elementary school. I'd like to welcome Abby Premerl, a grade 12 student at OSDSS who has taken several art courses, photography, arts and crafts, and visual arts, along with Jennifer Clem, an art teacher at OSDSS, to highlight the ongoing educational excellence that's taking place in visual arts, drama, and music at OSM District Secondary School. Welcome.
You can start right there. Hi. We're coming from Owentown District Secondary School. Super excited to be here. I'm going to let Abby introduce herself first.
My name is Abby Premerl, and I'm a grade 12 student at OSDSS.
Yeah.
I'm an art student who has enjoyed classes in the following areas of photography, arts and crafts, and visual arts. Some things I've enjoyed most about these experiences were learning different mediums. I found mediums that I was pretty good at and truly passionate for. Art is an important element in my high school experience because it really helped me get through the death of my dad and overall what was going around in the world. Art let me show how I was feeling and how I could deal with my anxiety in ways I didn't think was ever possible. And because of Miss Clem, I'm now wanting to pursue art as my future career. One of my teachers, Miss Clem, is here to present some of the activities currently happening in the arts at OSDSS.
Thank you. But smart. All right. Thank you so much, Abby, for coming. I'm really proud that Abby joined us here today. We have lots of amazing students at our school. And we have all sorts of students at our school, and everybody has a spot. Everybody has an activity that they enjoy. I really enjoy the arts, and I love meeting students like Abby. It's a really fun job. It is actually a dream job. Finally, I got it. It took me a long time, but I'm living the dream. So we want to share with you part of that dream and what happens at OSDSS. Is the slideshow here, or do you want me to grab? I have a key with it on it. No, I can grab it. We made a slideshow, but it won't take too long. I do have it on a key. Do you want me to grab it? Yeah. Perfect. Okay, I wolf away. Sorry, this is for the lucky day. Anyone sound coming up again. But our art transcends just our classrooms. We definitely make stuff for the whole school community. So I have my heartline here. Sorry. It's the only thing on there, so it will be recognized. Thank you.
What's there?
Yes. I am technically challenged often, so it's prepared to.
Do you want me to write for you?
Sure, yeah, for sure.
Your assistant.
Sure. Okay. So yes, I work at OSDSS, and I'm the current PAR or department head, and it's a lot of fun. We have a smaller staff, but we have lots of big things going on. So this PowerPoint just talks to you about some of the great things we did last year and some things that we're looking forward to. So last year we started our very first arts gala. So this is going to be an annual tradition at our school. It's something that I looked forward to when I was an art student in high school, and we kind of piggybacked on a name that used to be used at the OSCBI. They used to have an exhibit called A Light in Our Hall, and so we kind of borrowed that name and included some other types of art in it, and it's now called Lights in Our Halls. And the exhibit took place in June last year. We'll be having another one in June, as well as a winter concert. But it was a really great way to bring all of the arts together in one space. So we had drama productions, dance performances, music recitals. We had fashion, photography. We had some projects from our tech department, as well as visual arts, fine art, and culinary. So it was a really big, fun night. So there's some posters from it, or some pictures from it, so you can see some of the performances and some of the art. And if you skip to the next page, we had about 200 pieces of visual art or design in our show. The painting highlighted in the circle belongs to Abby. And again, lots of fashion and even manufacturing. You can see some photography there. But again, we look forward to hosting this show again. And if you're interested in supporting it, please come out. It is a public event, and there are always tasty treats available for those who come. Just bribe you. We also take part in a lot of community projects and advocacy projects. So last year, my grade 9 Indigenous, Exploring Indigenous Arts course took on the task of creating an advocacy project in the form of a red dress installation. Leading up to May 5th, we welcomed some Saugeen drummers to our space. They were able to drum for our students, kind of share some of their cultural tradition, as well as visit the exhibit. So that was a really empowering moment for grade 9s to make that connection with community and the importance of creating visible exhibitions. We also did an advocacy project in my photography class with the Graver Sawville Conservation Area, where we cleaned up some of the West Rocks. It's a space that our school frequents, but it's also a space that is heavily polluted by garbage and things that people leave behind. So my students studied a photographer named Ed Bertinsky, and they made art in his kind of style where they would promote healthy environments by showing those that have been depleted or polluted. So here are some pictures from that. But our students ended up picking up about 10 bags of garbage in one day from this space, and it was back again the next day, but the art on the walls really helped people stop and take note of what was happening. We have open mic. It's really fun. It is the funnest new thing that I've been doing with our drama teacher, Ms. Fowler. Macy Saker, our student rep, is a big participant, lots of fun, but it is a different way to get students to participate after school, and we find we have students that are out of town staying late to participate. We've got a lot of people showing up. We had our first open mic in September, and about a third of them are grade 9s, which is a really good sign. And so you can see some photos there. That's okay. We go on lots of field trips. The best learning often happens outside of the classroom. I'm sure you all know that. So we like to visit our community art hubs as well as partner up with different groups. These are some photos from field trips that we attended last year in Toronto, at some major art institutes and productions, and then also at our local galleries. The picture in the circle is a picture of the student show. I'm sure you've heard about it, but every May, the Artists Co-Op Sound hosts a show that many of our students participate in, including the students that were highlighted earlier from other schools. So it's a really cool thing, and we're lucky enough to be located in Owen Sound. It's easy access as a destination. Finally, we have lots going on in drama. Again, Macy participated in a student-run production last year that attended the previously known Sears Festival in Blythe. It was a really good experience. Students were in charge. They had to write reflections, they had to write applications, they had to set up and take down. They did really well with their production of Back in Time. Paper or Plastic, and then they are producing Back in Time this year. So they'll be attending quite a few festivals and performing at various locations and events. So you would have a chance to see that at some time if you're interested. And then finally, other things. In the arts, we've got lots of things going on this year. We've got a graffiti wall happening in our courtyard with student designs. We're working with an artist, hopefully on another collaboration at our school, where students get to connect with the community. We're having students design doors and logos kind of like KDSS, but we're working with our Comtech department and tech design, and also designing doors for English department where we're still engaged in Indigenous studies, so grade 9s will help with that. We've got dance, it's awesome. We've got a recital coming up in January, and then concert band, jazz, I think there's a jazz lab, and community visits through our music department. So in December, Mr. Melito is heading out to our elementary schools to partner with staff, and same with our drama department. They're actually offering workshops to elementary students. These are some of our clubs that we run. And again, it's just like it's a fun thing that we're able to provide to students at our school. We have a really large student body. But we're finding that art is cross-curricular. Again, we make posters for school events, hockey days. We partner with other groups. We're doing some extra things this year that even aren't on here. Like we're partnering with Reach a little bit for some art making with Tom Thompson, and also creating some garden space that's kind of helps with art displays, but also includes some of our Indigenous plants. So lots of things going on. Oh my gosh, we're such a great school, such a great board. Thank you for having us. But it is a dream job, and thank you for supporting the arts. It takes a village, so thank you for listening and having this as your focus. Thank you very much.
Don't go anywhere.
Thank you. Okay, guys. Yes.
Wow, thank you so much. There is a lot going on. The trustees have questions or comments. Trustee Leeds.
Through the chair, thank you so much for highlighting incredible arts, both what we saw in the mall and everything in here, and for all the presentations. Thank you for highlighting the cross-curricular nature of the arts, the intercurricular nature of the arts, the refuge of the arts, because I know not only academically is it important for students, but I know the music room, the art room, the drama room is a safe space for so many of our students. So a huge thank you to everyone who supports that, and for those who live in the dream.
It totally is. You can come over anytime. It's awesome.
I hear that from others living the same dream. We are happy to support it in any way we can, and we try to because we see it and it's wonderful.
Thank you. I think it's really, really fun. Thank you.
Any other questions or comments? Student trustee Robinson.
Hi, I'd kind of like to give a student input on this too, because I've been part of a lot of the art stuff at OSDSS since that is my school, and Miss Clem and all of our teachers have been really, really good with planning all these things. And you can just tell by photos how full of life they are, and especially being there too. Everyone is so nice. Everyone has just the best energy. They're so happy to be there and to be a part of arts in general, and they feel really comfortable being themselves, and especially giving people spaces to be themselves and to try out all these different kinds of self-expressions is really important. So I'm really glad we had this presentation today. Good job, Miss Clem.
Thanks for making it bad at drawing. Thank you.
Any other? Oh, trustee Fraser.
Yes.
I thought this presentation today would be different, but in fact it was much better and much more fun than I anticipated, because I thought what we would be getting was a review of our delivery of arts programs in the elementary and secondary panels. That's not part of what we're up to today. Is that correct?
Through the chair, I think that really this is showing the curriculum coming to life, because everything that has been discussed is part of the curriculum. So it's just actually showing it on the, live performances and having a student experience and Macy's contributions and Ms. Clem, and just seeing all the videos. So it's curriculum coming to life.
And I'm delighted to see that and very impressed, especially because OSS is one of my schools. Sound guy.
Come and visit when we have our arts gallery.
I definitely want to do that because you've opened my eyes. I did and do have a lot of questions, so I'd like to just read them into the record, if you like, very briefly, with the view to possibly having a report at some later date that examines the question of what are we doing and how are we doing in the arts. Here are my questions. I'm not expecting answers today. Do we have music and visual arts specialists in our elementary schools? Some would do it, it's all. How many full-time art music teachers go school to school when we do that? Do all students have an opportunity to learn a musical instrument during their elementary school years? What about vocal music? How many elementary schools have choirs? So I'd like to have a sense of what we're doing, to what extent we're doing it. And the final question pertains to the high school level. Given the pressure for students to get good marks in high school in order to gain acceptance in colleges and universities, has arts education suffered? Talking about the kinds of programs that you support, because now we have a 4-year high school, and I think it has had a deleterious impact on the arts programs in our high schools. And so my follow-up question was, to what degree has the number of students who take an arts or music course every year in high school dropped off? So these are questions about program, questions about policy, and questions about how we're doing it. So maybe another time that could be on the agenda.
Trustee Econ.
Sorry, my helper didn't help.
Mine's more of a comment than it is a question. Usually when you talk about arts and education, you talk about visual arts, music, drama, dance, performances, or theater, which you've covered. I'm just wondering, there's no reference to literature. Is that because you're preserving their stories? Is that the literature component?
Is that question for me? So in regard to literacy and literature, so our English department's separate, but we do have a bit of crossover in regard to like the field trips to Stratford. There's like crossover in so our if our arts department plans a trip and we know it would be beneficial for English department to be involved, then we share that information and share that opportunity, offer space, offer workshop. And our literature at our school, like we do have a nice base of our like 4U and 3U, so there's like that classic literature being pursued. Was that your question? Is that, or do you mean in regard to like theater and literature?
Usually when you're talking about arts curriculum in education, it's a 5-component, literature is one of those components, but I don't see it here. I just see the reference to the 2009 quote. So I'm just wondering, is there a component of what you're teaching here in the arts curriculum that is directly from what you're doing to the literature component?
So through the chair, as an art specialist, the arts is an opportunity for integration of a variety of subject areas. And so when you're teaching an art class, you are incorporating literature and literacy. You're also bringing in, on occasion, social studies, geography, history. You're also incorporating science on occasion, and even mathematics. And so the arts is a wonderful opportunity to incorporate all of those things. Within the ministry curriculum, it divides the arts into four strands, which is visual arts, music, drama, and dance. And that's what we report on within the arts. But there is overlap, as there are in most subjects. For example, there are literacy overlaps and math overlaps in science, for example. There are also plenty of opportunity for overlap in the arts, and that's what makes it a wonderful subject to teach.
Yeah, we did, like, for example, today I was teaching my grade 9, it's an indigenous, it's called Expressing Indigenous Cultures, it's probably be Exploring Indigenous Cultures, but we were pursuing storytelling. It's a big part of the course, oral tradition. So, and when you talk about literature, like sometimes those stories are things that aren't written down, but they're things you can find visual representations of, so it's like a visual literature almost. And a lot of the content that we look at, we'll look at the ancient history that's attached to it. For example, in my grade 10 class, we're looking at Paleolithic art and cave drawings, but then we're also looking at graffiti and the idea of momentous change through protest, images, symbols, and making messages that way. So it's all literature, but sometimes it's like sorry, that's my big, I'm just jumping in. It's great.
So through the chair, I also did note earlier that it is through the arts that we remember some of our stories and our histories, and our stories are passed on through the arts. When we think about, for example, Egyptian art or Greek art, we can think about the stories that we see through the visual art and sculpture that they create. But there's also, in many of our cultures, a history of passing a story on through drama and storytelling. And so that also is incorporated in the arts as well.
Any other questions or comments? I don't see any. I'd just like to thank you very much. And Abby, it was an excellent presentation. It is exciting to hear all the opportunities that students have in a bigger school. And I hope our students across the district in all schools are gaining some wonderful experience from the teachers that they have. Thank you so much for being here tonight.
Thank you for having us. We really appreciate your support. Thank you.
It was moved by Trustee Atkinson and seconded by Trustee Lutz that the Blue Water District School Board receive the Learning Through the Arts Curriculum Report for information. All in favor? Thank you. That is carried. We have no delegations this evening, and we're to the reports from our Committee of the Whole Board report. So I would like to invite Vice Chair Johnstone to speak to this report as she was the chair of that meeting.
I'm just getting the document up, so. Trying to see what you have. Sorry about that. I had it up and then I was looking for some information for Michael, actually, when you spoke. So then I lost it on my drive. So okay. So there was a meeting that happened on October 3rd. It was Committee of the Whole. From that meeting, there were 4 recommendations that passed, and now they're coming before you, the board, in terms of a motion. I'll be moving it and looking for somebody to second. That the Blue Water District School Board approve that Saugeen District Senior School students participate in the Canadian World Studies New York City trip, April 4th to the 8th, 2024. I move it. I'm looking for a seconder. Thank you very much, Trustee Lutz. Any comments, questions concerning the motion before you? I don't see any. All in favor? And opposed, if any? And that is carried. Next, that the Blue Water District School Board approve board policy BP 2806-D, emergency use of board facilities during a disaster as revised for system use. I'm moving it second. Thank you very much, Trustee Atkinson. Comments, questions concerning that motion? I don't see any. All in favor? And that is carried. The third one, that the Blue Water District School Board approve board policy BP 5602-D, field trips and excursions, formally field trips as revised for system use. Can I have somebody to second that, please? Okay, Trustee Thompson. Comments, questions? I don't see any. All in favor? And opposed? And that is carried. And then finally, that the Blue Water District School Board approves sections 3.12, 3.15.2, and 4.1 of the Blue Water District School Board procedural bylaws as revised for system use. Can I have somebody to second that, please? Thank you very much, Trustee Craig. Comments, questions concerning that motion before you? I see none. All in favor and opposed? And that is carried, and that is my report. Thank you very much, Chair Thompson.
Thank you. That takes us to our Business Committee of the Whole Board from October 3rd, and I'd like to invite Trustee Morgan to speak to this report.
I'm sorry, I'm not prepared.
Superintendent Cummings, would you speak to this report? There are two motions coming out of this, so we'll have you do your report and then I'll put the motions on the floor.
Thank you, Chair Thompson. The report from the Business Committee of the Whole from October 3rd. We had our Audit Committee report, which you see the two motions shortly here about the external audit and internal audit plan. We had items for information with regards to our preliminary enrollment for the year, another update on transportation, and an update on the new Kincardine District Senior School. And then we just wrapped it up with a property summary of what happened throughout the summer and the property engagements going forward. Thank you.
Thank you. So the first motion that's on the floor is with the Blue Water District School Board approve the audit planning report to the Audit Committee. Can I have a mover, please? Trustee Morgan, a seconder, Trustee Lutz. All in favor? Thank you, that's carried. And secondly, that the Blue Water District School Board approve the proposed regional intern audit plan for 2023-2025. Can I have a mover, please? Trustee Atkinson, Trustee Morgan, all in favor? Thank you, that is carried. Thank you. There was no committee of the whole board in camera meeting held this evening. Are there any new notice of motions? Trustee Gray?
Notice of motion. Something just passed me by quicker than I expected. I thought you were going to go to item number 4 there, delegated authority and property update, because I had a question and a comment about that.
From the report?
We discussed it at the business committee meeting.
Yeah, I wasn't there.
Perhaps you could speak speak to trustee or superintendent Cummings after because you missed the meeting?
I could do that, but also make a 30-second statement that pertains to my concerns on certain items. In other words, for the whole board to be aware of this, not that it's instantly pressing.
So, yeah, let's, you have a conversation. Because it was discussed, if you could have a conversation with Superintendent Cummings and ask your question with him, and then it doesn't backtrack for everybody else. Okay, are there any new notice of motion? There are no committee establishments or appointments this evening. So we're reports for information. I'd like to invite student trustee Robinson to present the student senate report.
Hi. Thank you. All right. So the students of Blue Water District School Boards are off to a great start for our fall months. The first of 4 student forums will be hosted on November 2nd and 3rd here at the Blue Water Education Center. This will be hosted by Unlearn, who strive to challenge people of all ages to think critically about their unconscious biases and how the media and their experiences and relationships can reinform them. This will help to lead the conversations and help students from all secondary schools be put together to put their thoughts into actions and provide guidance for our work at the system. We will have activities, games, good food, and opportunities to share ideas with students from across Blue Water. Students at Onsound District Secondary School hosted a fire truck pull to raise money for the Terry Fox Foundation, and many truth and reconciliation events took place around Grey and Bruce counties on September 29th during school. And these included a walk for Wenjack, painting feathers, and music by Canadian Indigenous musicians on the morning announcements. Smudging was also available in many schools, and several students also participated in events in local communities on September 30th, Canada's National Day for Truth and Reconciliation. Food drives have also started back up in many schools across Blue Water, and John Diefenbaker's students planted a pollinator flower garden and got donations from Hanover's Horticultural Society. OSDSS, SDSS, KDSS, and WDCS all have fall commencement just before Thanksgiving weekend, and by all of accounts, they were very successful and well attended. In Grey Highlands, a history trip to France and Belgium just returned, and the student senator from KDSS was happy to announce the cafeteria catering, a new one, was a big hit. The public health nurse had made a visit to many classes at PSDS, my apologies, and students are feeling quite comfortable coming to her with any questions. A number of fall-themed dances are being planned, and post-secondary schools are visiting our secondary schools, providing information to students. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Do trustees have questions? Comments? Trustee Woods.
Thank you so much for your very enthusiastic presentation, and it is fantastic to hear about everything going on in the schools. I think we all really appreciate it, so we thank you all, everyone back there, for sharing what's going on in your schools, and keep it up. It's wonderful. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other comments? Student trustee Ennis, sorry.
There we go.
Something I should mention is that last year the Student Senate ran an environmental initiative challenge, and the schools that won received some money to promote environmental programs at their school. JDSS was one of those schools, and the pollinator garden that we planted was funded in part with that money, which was a big project which involved so many members of the community, and that we would like to thank the board for helping make that happen.
Thank you. I don't see any other questions. Thank you very much for your report. Staff reports, mathematics achievement action plan. I'd like to invite Superintendent Lowers to speak to this report. Could I have a mover and a seconder that the Blue Water District School Board receive the mathematics achievement action plan report for information? Trustee Lutz, seconded by Trustee McCollum. Thank you and welcome.
Good evening. We seem to have lost control. We seem to have lost our PowerPoint, but we'll keep working on that. I'd like to introduce Mathematics Administrator Coach Carla Whiteside, and she is going to share with us the Mathematics Achievement Action Plan. This is something that has been introduced by the Ministry of Education this fall for implementation beginning this fall. There you go. Yes.
Was there a sticky on there with the password? Very top secret.
Got it.
Oh.
Yeah. Just as you were walking up, I saw that. Did you want to? I'm done. Okay. Sorry about that delay. How's that for sound? It's okay? Okay. So, good evening, everyone. My name is Carla Whiteside, and I am, as Wendy just said, I'm the Mathematics Administrator Coach at Blue Water District School Board. I'm going to take a few minutes to share just an overview of the Mathematics Achievement Action Plan. You'll see at the bottom of the slide the math goal. And our math goal is, in inclusive learning environments, all students will develop increased number sense to be flexible and adaptive learners and problem solvers. As part of the Ministry of Education's Taking Action in Mathematics, Blue Water District School Board has developed the Mathematics Achievement Action Plan. Mathematics achievement efforts across the province, across the board, and across our schools should include multiple, proven, evidence-informed strategies and approaches to address needs. The ministry has identified 3 interwoven math actions to be prioritized in the 2023-2024 school year. The 3 priorities are on the slide. The first one in blue is about curriculum fidelity. Curriculum fidelity is to ensure curriculum implementation and the use of proven instructional assessment practices to enhance student learning. The word fidelity is used to ensure that there's a commitment to the implementation of the current curriculum, as well as a commitment to the use of high-impact instructional and assessment practices. The second priority action in green is a focus on engaging in ongoing professional learning to strengthen content knowledge for teaching math. And the third priority action is highlighting inclusion and engagement for all students and the importance of using assessments to know students' mathematical strengths and needs to guide planning and interventions. Each school will also incorporate a focus in mathematics into their student achievement plan.
Let's take a look to see what is happening or what is planned in Blue Water District School Board and how it connects with the ministry priority actions. With the Ontario Elementary curriculum new in 2020 and the grade 90 stream math course new in 2021, Blue Water District School Board has provided teachers with curriculum-aligned resources to ensure fidelity, there's that word again, of curriculum implementation. Teachers in Blue Water District School Board have access to MathUp Classroom and Knowledge Hook Premium. Both resources have many varied assessment opportunities to get to know students' strengths, needs, misconceptions, and interests in mathematics. In addition to student-facing materials, both MathUp Classroom and Knowledge Hook have teacher supports. These features allow teachers to build and deepen their content knowledge for teaching mathematics. In Knowledge Hook, teachers can use the teacher supports to look at background on specific mathematical skills or concepts and use the misconception chart to better understand potential errors or misunderstandings. In MathUp Classroom, teachers have access to content and pedagogical videos to provide key information for effective learning and teaching. In Blue Water District School Board, a student-centered, job-embedded professional learning coaching model is used to focus on improving student achievement in mathematics. The ministry has identified priority schools based on the 2021-2022 Education Quality and Accountability Office, EQAO, results. These priority schools are supported by a primary junior math coach 1 day a week. In addition, all schools with grades 7, 8, and 9 have access to an intermediate literacy and numeracy coach in grade 7 and 8, and a secondary instructional coach in grade 9 to support mathematics learning and teaching. One school from each area has been selected as a focus school. This is an opportunity for superintendent, administrators, teachers, and students to learn and work with Doug Duff. Doug Duff is a principal coach and the developer of MathUp Leadership, previously called MathUp School, and it is a school improvement resource that all Blue Water administrators have access to. I'll give you a moment to read the quote on the slide. The title of the slide is Knowing Each Learner. The quote on the slide comes from a resource that can be found on the ministry's digital curriculum platform. The quote comes from the curriculum context that outlines the key features of math curriculum, whether it's elementary or the secondary curriculum, and talks about the curriculum's vision and goals and some special consideration for program planning and mathematics specifically. The quote references the role of the teacher in knowing each learner and ensuring they use varied, high-impact instructional practices to meet the needs of all students. So on the slide here are 9 high-impact instructional practices. These 9 high-impact instructional practices come from the resource that is shown there, high-impact instructional practices in math. And that resource begins with the quote stating, effective math instruction begins when educators have high expectations and believe that students have the potential to learn and do math. Researchers have found that the 9 practices shown on the slide and outlined in the resource have consistently shown to have a high impact on teaching and learning mathematics. These instructional practices, combined with varied assessment tools to inform next steps in curriculum implementation, are foundational to all professional learning to enhance teacher learning and enhance student achievement. As I mentioned, the Taking Action in Mathematics Ministry Strategy and the Mathematics Achievement Action Plan are new in 2023-2024. To support our board's planning, the ministry is providing the following supports. So on the left-hand side is the strategic planning sessions for board math leaders, and this is an opportunity monthly to get together virtually with others across the province as we develop and refine our plan to learn from others. The discussions and analysis is an opportunity to focus on questions specific to Blue Water's context. And the third support is a content knowledge learning series, which is a monthly virtual meeting of professional learning that's intended for coaches, administrators, teachers, and that's on various topics. Today I attended one on multiplicative thinking. And the last slide, just to wrap it up, to summarize, these are the three priority actions for the ministry, and I'm just going to again highlight the three things that that we are planning in Blue Water to align with the provincial priorities. So for the Blue, a board strategy to meet the first priority is ensuring that the resources that are provided and promoted are curriculum aligned. The board strategy to address the second priority is prioritizing mathematics content knowledge for teaching in all the professional learning that we do. For example, during math coaching, there is a focus on strengthening math content knowledge directly related to the number strand as a way for let me back up here. For example, during math coaching, the number skill. For example, during the math coaching, there's a focus on strengthening math content knowledge related to number skills and concepts. There's a focus on including daily number routines as a way for teachers and students to review, revisit, enhance, and practice to develop and increase number sense and flexibility with number. Another way where ongoing learning to strengthen the mathematics content knowledge for teaching is evident is in the resources that are promoted. And finally, board strategy to plan for the third priority action is providing a digital math tool to support students' mathematics learning. Teachers K through 10 can use Knowledge Hook to get to know their students and understand current student learning strengths and needs. This information is used to provide targeted supports for students. These three interwoven actions that are ministry actions will also be prioritized in Blue Water District School Board in the 2023-2024 school year. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Do trustees have any questions? Trustee Gray.
I'm quite interested in Math Hub and Knowledge Hook and how they're used. I'd like to know, first of all, what grades are they used at? And secondly, what percentage of teachers avail themselves of these resources? Is it universal in the system, or is it just in the process of being taken up?
So Math Up Classroom is a K-9 resource, and it's available to all teachers K-9. And Knowledge Hook Premium is a digital tool that is available K-10. And it was a focus for the September 22nd PA Day in schools, so many teachers had an opportunity to set up a teacher account as well as create a class.
And what percentage of teachers have in fact availed themselves of that resource?
I don't have an exact percent. It was a good uptake following the September PA Day. It was a really good uptake of creating an account, and now what we will monitor is the usage. So creating up an account is step one, then doing something called a game show or assigned missions is what we want to monitor going forward.
I see if anyone else has.
Please.
Any other questions?
Oh, back to me.
No, I wanted to turn your mic off. Trustee Keiko.
Thank you. My question has to do with the current teacher candidates having to have a math requirement. And I know it's in the courts at this point, but just wondering if there's any plans for the Blue Water teachers to take that prerequisite for certification and take a math course required by required EQAO math course, or are they planning any upgrading through math proficiency tests, CA, for example?
So we don't have a plan for right now for instructing people to take a course, but we do offer math additional qualifications courses. There's actually seven different math focused courses ranging from primary junior mathematics through intermediate to specialists. And we provide subsidies through the ministry for teachers to take those courses. We've had quite good uptake on that over the past 3 years, actually.
Other questions or comments? Trustee Craig.
Right, my second question pertains to something you mentioned, lead math teachers. Now, presumably they are teachers who are assisting a whole group of schools. But I was wondering if in the K-8 schools you have a lead teacher for math in every school. In other words, somebody who has made math teaching their priority and can assist all the other teachers in what is, I think, the most challenging part of being an elementary school teacher.
So we do have, not every school does have a lead math teacher because not every school has someone who's qualified fully in mathematics to be a lead teacher. And some of our schools are very small, some of our schools have very tiny staff, and some of them have a very large staff, so it varies depending on the school. But our coaches, we have them going into our schools doing that work as acting like a lead teacher because they do have the professional learning and the expertise that they bring. We also provide some release time for those coaches to work with the teachers. So they're in the classroom, they're working with students and with teachers, they're also co-planning and co-teaching with the teachers. And so what we know from the research is the coaching model, the instructional coaching model, is one of the most effective methods of professional learning. And so it is our plan that through that approach that we are actually getting more longevity in the work that we're doing and more impact in the work that we're doing, as opposed to bringing everybody here for one day. Everybody comes, they learn something, they go and they leave, and that's kind of it. And this way the coaches keep returning and keep supporting, and they're supporting teachers in the classrooms where they're teaching with their kids. And that's really, really important because they can target, as Carla mentioned earlier, they can target that instruction specifically to the students that they have in front of them.
Good, thank you.
Trustee Pickleman.
The minister indicated on October 11th that he's hired 400 main math facilitators. I'm just wondering if Blue Water is getting any of those.
That would be our coaches. That would be our math coaches. So we have 3 primary junior coaches, and we have 2 grade 7 and 8 teachers that are math and literacy coaches as well. Did I miss anyone?
We have secondary.
Oh, I'm sorry, we also have 2?
2
Yeah. 2 secondary instructional coaches, and we also have our system curriculum lead teachers who are also skilled in facilitating math instruction as well.
I had a question for you. I was wondering if you could explain how the focus schools were chosen in each area.
So this is the second year that we've done some work around focus schools. This year, the focus school, the criteria was we wanted to ensure that there was one from each area. So currently there's one from each of the areas that the superintendents are attached to. And they're also priority schools, so they are a school that was identified by the ministry as a priority school, and it was a school that we were just interested in doing a little bit more work with for various reasons. Sometimes it might be a K-8, in other cases we've asked for the K-12. So the 2 criteria was we wanted to ensure the equity across the board, one from each area, and we were also providing additional support to 3 of our priority schools.
just to follow up in the equity piece, how does that training, or does it spill over to the other schools in the area that were not selected?
Okay, so as I said, this is the second year that we've done it. So last year we were able to support through a focus school model for 7 schools. This year we have 3 for the semester, so it's going to be kind of over time, but also while others are waiting, it's the sharing at administrators' meetings, just sharing best practices around the work that they're doing.
Any other questions or comments? I see none. Thank you so much for the information. It was moved by Trustee Lutz and seconded by Trustee McComb that the Blue Water District School Board received the Math Achievement Action Plan report for information. All in favor? Thank you. That is carried. So we are to communications. And the following has been provided to you for information. The first one is the letter sent today from the Toronto Youth Cabinet regarding current initiatives. It's both for the rising mental health and also for food insecurity. When this letter first came in, because it was a youth initiative, I sent it to our student senate to have a look at it and see if it was something they were interested in following up with. And the response from them, and not to put words in their mouth, but it wasn't something they felt they wanted to take lead on and follow up with. The second thing I wanted to find out more about is that it's very much a Toronto-based youth organization, and I didn't know how that related to us. And I know that OPSPA has been looking at food security, lunch programs. So I contacted our president, and this is not an organization that is working with OPSPA. They have reached out to them before, but it's more parallel activity at this point. So it's presented to you for some information, and that's that. The next is a letter from the town of the Blue Mountains. They were requesting, it looked like they were requesting to come as a delegation to discuss the school resource program officer. And it didn't make sense given our process of a delegation they would present, but there's no conversation. So we contacted them to see if that's what they were wanting to do, and the message was no. So they have been invited to our school resource meeting. They have been missed before because of in the town of Blue Mountains, we deal with a lot of different police forces. But their school is just is a small elementary school, so I think that's why initially they were missed. So they have been to a meeting. We are continuing to follow up with them, and it is not our impression that they want to come as a delegation, but if that turns out to be not the case, they certainly will be coming for a delegation. We've had a hard time connecting with the CAO. There are some memorandums from the Deputy Minister of Education, one dated September 21, about the disposition of surplus property in schools and shared sites. A memorandum from the Minister of Tourism, Culture and Sport regarding concussion safety and Rowan's Law. We also received a letter from the Mayor of Songing Shores dated September 20th regarding a student busing issue about after school centers. I did reply to him to tell him, the mayor, that his letter would be coming to this board meeting, but we've also been able to redirect staff to that parent and deal with the actual issue. It wasn't identified in the initial letter, and we've been able to deal with that. And then a memorandum from the Minister of Education dated October 4th regarding better schools and student outcomes. and a memorandum from the minister dated October 10th regarding students following the recent terror events in Israel. Takes us to communications and announcements. Trustee Pipeline.
I would like to put it on the record that the parents have addressed or have sent once again notices of liability to all the superintendents, the director, and the trustees as correspondence.
Thank you. And communications and announcements. Are there any announcements related to public education this evening? Trustee Johnstone.
Yes, so I just wanted to, I attended the Ontario Public School Board Association meeting for September 22nd, 23rd. That was after our last, after our board meeting in September. Anyway, just one thing that I really wanted to highlight, it actually was presented at our program meeting. Program curriculum meeting. So I just thought it would be of interest to particularly to trustees and of course staff and past students. So we had a presentation and it had to do with the grade 7 and 8 mental health modules at School Mental Health Ontario. So Kathy Short and Gail Lalonde of School Mental Health Ontario delivered an update on the creation of new grade 7-8 mental health literacy modules, which include a series of 3 40-minute modules per grade to be delivered by educators to support the existing mental health literacy expectations within Strand D of the health and physical education curriculum. They're not new learning. They offer ways to enhance the delivery of the existing curriculum and focus on mental health literacy. The modules have been released and will be available in the virtual learning environment for implementation in January of this year, so 2024. They feature user-friendly tools such as videos and slide decks along with discussion guides and teacher prompts to support delivery. A variety of supportive resources are also included, such as educator guide and a student notebook for each grade. The development of the modules has included a review team from SickKids, so that's how it was put together. There has also been significant consultation with students, parents, and a wide range of cultural and community partners to inform the work and feedback that has helped to shape the content. And so that I just wanted to highlight that because sometimes we kind of, where does something come from? And so, we find out, it was where it was put together, there was a presentation, we actually got to see, a little kind of a bit of the slide decks and things like that. The module, like one module we got to see was really good and it was very interesting. The other thing I just wanted to bring to your attention again is the Oxville Leaders Academy. It's a meaningful, and so the next one is tomorrow at noon. You would have got a notice that if you want to join, you still can right up until before that. But tomorrow's one for noon is meaningful engagement, how to hear from the voices that matter on issues that are important. So just to give you an idea about what it's going to be about, is that trustees have an obligation under the Education Act to consult with parents, students, and supporters of the board on their multi-year strategic plan, as well as bringing to concerns of parents, students, and supporters, so that these supporters of public education, to the attention of the board. They also have a moral obligation to represent the priorities of those groups when they make decisions. The ongoing challenge is that trustees often find that when they hold public meetings, few people attend. They also find that if they rely, for feedback exclusively from the people reaching out to them, the loud voices they hear from are often few in number and only represent one side of an issue. This workshop will look at what gets in the way of hearing important and diverse voices and ways to engage. And that is communication from Oxford.
She's a very dynamic speaker. Trustee Leeds.
Thank you. Through the chair, just a question for Trustee Johnstone about the modules. Do you know if they're available asynchronously at all? Thank you.
Okay, when you say okay, so
At a different time.
okay, so they would be available by the teacher in the classroom. That's okay. So go ahead.
I think, through the chair, I think trustee Lutz is asking about the modules, like tomorrow.
Yeah.
I do understand that they are taping,
Yeah.
taping Marion Howell,
Sorry.
and then OSCO will make them available at another time. Is that correct? Yeah.
Sorry about that. I thought you were talking about the student modules, and I'm going, you're the classroom teacher.
No, I have to work, so I'm just, well, you've been learning.
And the first one is available online.
Fantastic.
Yeah, next one will be too. Any other announcements? Are there any out-of-district meetings, conferences, or conventions to share? See none? So the trustee calendar of events has been provided for your information. And as always, if you see an error in something that you're aware of, please bring it to our attention. That takes us to adjournment at 8:33, but I have a mover and a seconder. It's moved by trustee Long, seconded by trustee Gray, for adjourned at 8:33. Be safe on your way home, everyone.